Hey, what up, friends? Good day, everyone. Hello. Enjoy now. Up your nose. Oxygen. Inwardly, if you can. Through your nose. Peacefully. In that grand, pausing. Peacefully. Powerfully at the top. Whenever you're ready. Out the nose. Eyes, nose. Heart, tail, elbows, head, shoulders, knees and toes. Goodness gracious, here I go. Let's see who gets to be on this live video with me. Okay, so my friend G.O.D. He is the captain of my Burning Man camp. His name is Gerald, also G.O.D. My friend. He posted this on his Facebook page. It was from Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856. So this, what he said here, was prophetic. He was right about what happened, basically, right? So, and you'll see, maybe you can read what I wrote. I have my own. So when wireless is perfectly applied, the whole earth will be converted into a huge brain, which in fact it is. All things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. I want to say, when rule number 1, we're spreading, something our parents teach us in the future, is perfectly applied, the whole earth will be converted into a huge heart, which in fact it is. All things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole heart beating in the peace of love God. Are you listening to this? Okay, so let's see what else this has to say. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly. We are connecting in heart, hearing with the art of our heart instantly, irrespective of distance, with the keys of authenticity and intellectual honesty and playfulness and wit. Not only this, but through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face, despite intervening distances of thousands of miles. And the instruments through which we shall be able to do this will be amazingly simple compared with our present telephone. A man will be able to carry one in his vest pocket. What an interesting prophecy this is from Nikola Tesla. And I'm saying, when rule number 1 of more spread is perfectly applied to the whole earth will be converted into a huge heart, which in fact it is. All things being particles of the real and rhythmic whole heart beating in what? The peace of God, peace of God, peace of God. And we all shall connect with one another instantly, irrespective of distance, even next to each other, actually, in a wholly consecrated dance, given the holy purpose of our true heart's will. United throughout, beyond, before, within, becoming everything, is will. Not only this, but through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were in a happy dream. This is face-to-face, in a happy dream, face-to-face. We don't need to be face-to-face. It can be connection via telephony this way, but heart-to-heart in a happy dream, despite intervening distances of thousands of meanings. And the instrument through which we shall be able to do this will be amazingly simple compared with those that we currently bow our bodies to in the machine worlds, actually. And this is what will be, is our couch wheelchairs currently that give us sitting issues will be converted to standing fins that are like cars that demand us to be like this, actually. So like when I'm driving, I'm like turning the car, and it's like a standing fin, and I can relax in some way. Super well designed standing fins so that we don't have to bow our bodies to the machine world the way the machine world has had us. It didn't quite consider what we are as body beings but this new revolution will be amazingly simple compared to our simple and profound and engagingly useful for what we are as body beings compared with our present machine life relationship, being the computers too, in various ways. The body will be much more incorporated, actually. So that prophecy that Nikola Tesla said here, I have my own, and I'm speaking of some of them as I'm reading his, kind of putting in my own prophecies of what will be. And I'll go ahead and read this here. Have you heard of it? I mentioned it just barely. It's rule number 1, more spreading, something our parents teach to us in the future, brought to us now by a commercial, from and for now and then on earth as it is in heaven, shining prayers, playing sun within and for the matrix, because God so loved it. This is a, what is it? Contagious, this is contagious. And the International Court Tribunal, the International Court Tribunal of Care, Courage, Encouragement, and Forgiveness, with this rule number 1, more spreading message. Have you heard these things? This thing called the rule number 1, more spreading, something our parents teach us in the future, and the International Tribunal of Care, Courage, Encouragement, and Forgiveness, wherein we recognize some. So basically, the future that I see regarding the rule number 1, more spreading, something our parents teach us in the future, is that it's of a commercial that starts with a little kid saying to his mom and his dad, or her mom and her dad, "Hey, why was it that there were all those wars, mommy, daddy?" And maybe mommy says something like, "Hey, that's a really nuanced question. The answers are really interesting, actually. That's a sensitive subject." So among the things she starts to say to the kid, "Hey, first, what do you think? If there were clear and present danger around us, do you think Daddy would protect you?" And the kid says, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "And that's a good thing, right?" So the kid's like, "Yeah, that's good." So like that's nature, and that's like it's good that daddies would want to protect you, actually, right? So this kid asked at the beginning of this, commercial for the future. Mommy, why was it that there were wars that happened? And Mommy says, it's a very sensitive subject, but blah, 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 a bunch of different things. Among them, to begin with, something about the recognition that Daddy would protect them. And that's a good thing, actually, right? And then also like mentions of the fact that the young men who would get great investments in their development. They'd be good at making their bed. They'd learn another language. And sometimes the men who didn't would stay home and, I don't know, not develop as much or something like that. There's a lot of investment put in them. And just mentioning all these nuances of even nature, that like outside groups, there can be disease issues, right? If you don't have a wall around a city, then the city can be infected by a certain set of cultural values that allows it to work together. It can be affected by actual biological diseases and other things too, if it doesn't have its sort of set structure. So all these things they contribute to the conversation of what it was or is that there can be human animal beings that are engaged in what war is between tribes or groups or something like this. So anyways, in the commercial, the mom kind of explains some of this stuff. She talks about even in nature, by the way, there are examples of teams that get together in certain ways. So the mom explains this stuff and says, but we found out from the future this rule, that when we heard it in general as humans, it became a generally integrated universal cultural inheritance for us. It was that we should never kill or hurt someone because someone told us to. Pretty simple. Never kill or hurt someone just because someone told you to. It doesn't matter how sad or scary the story is in some way, actually. Clear and present danger? Maybe. Maybe there can be reason for investigation. I realize there's lots of nuance, but so too is this consideration. The consideration that maybe a good rule is don't go hurt or kill someone because somebody told you to. In the past, we've found that was a slippery slope, the sad or scary story that led us to follow down the hill of war, where people were being played against one another. Actually, it's like noble to want to stand up against sad and scary stories or something like that, but it's also an easy manipulation. So for now, there's this basic meme that supports wars that most of us hear, actually, and it goes something like, you shouldn't kill or hurt people. Generally, people are taught that in America often, basically. Shouldn't hit people and stuff like that. And like, unless somebody has like the right kind of flag on their shoulder or something like that, or a holy book in their hand, depending on where you live. So with and that like allowance, not only that it's okay if you do it, if somebody asks you to with a flag, you'll be like honored and stuff like that. And that allowance was the mom explains this in the commercial, was kind of confusing for people. The young men would get home from these missions, they were confused about the virtue or the value of what they had done, actually, and that they had such amazing bonding experiences too, and they were super honored. I talked to some of them. Joey did, actually. He knows this is true. Of the ones he's talked to, actually, it's confusing when they didn't agree with what they were doing, and they're honored and stuff like this. This is what some of them have told me, anyways. And so at least that's true for some of them that I've talked to. Anyways, the mother set explains all these nuances of why it was that there was wars, and then she says, but this message came to us from the future, which was you should never kill or hurt people, and because somebody told you to. That's not a good reason. Maybe clear and present danger, hopefully not, but definitely not because someone told you to. We all kind of agreed. There was the little kid interrupts the mother, something like, the Court Tribunal of Care, Courage, Encouragement, and Forgiveness. Yeah, exactly. The International Court Tribunal of Care, Courage, Encouragement, and Forgiveness, wherein they brought basically everybody who thought that they were, or definitely were involved in some way in destruction and death of people throughout the world via wars or something like that, and they explain how they were involved. And then they're said, let's forgive this young man, let's forgive this young woman in this way, that they are involved in this game. They are our villains, our victims, and our heroes. And let us remember that we should never kill or hurt somebody because somebody told us to. So anyway, there is a dream to put in the human hive mind. What do you think? Is there any exceptions to that? Caveats, nuance, questions, yeah buts, when it comes to this axiom that we shouldn't kill or hurt somebody because someone told us to. Are there any yeah buts that you think, actually? Any like, yeah, but that's naive kind of things? Do you have any questions like that? Have me know. Okay. Love you all. Chibrojo.